Good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning, the start of our auction week, and we're flying. Yeah, I say it every month, and I try not to use the same words all the time, but we're doing all right. It's looking like it's going to be a fairly substantial auction. I think there's over 1,200 in at the minute, and we're still processing away. We'll probably be processing again right up until Friday.
Probably.
It's a big one, and there's lots and lots of bottles. Strangely enough, there's a fair few Middleton 2023s. Everybody's talking about them. There's a fair few everything else, so it is a fairly busy and fairly varied auction. Look, we have to talk about the elephants. I think everybody was the elephant in the room, or elephants, or unicorn, or sleeping giant. It was referred to as all of these things.
Yes.
Bushmills for years. We all said, well, surely they've got to do something else other than, the 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 16 and 21. Boy, are people regretting that now. It's like they turned on the on switch and forgot to monitor it, and it's everywhere. It literally is bleh. Let's see what we can do.
But it's great to see it.
It is great to see it, Kitty. It is, and the thing about it is, we always knew they were capable of great things. We always knew that they had lots of old casks. I still think that they've got some spectacularly old casks up there. I know from talking to Lauren or them that there is plans coming, and look, they've done things recently, like the 33-year-old new one that's in Heathrow. They've now introduced in America a 25-year-old and a 30-year-old core range release. I say core range. It's going to be a sort of an annual batch release per se, but it's something that they've got. The Causeway collection has divided people. People have sort of been singing its praises initially, and everybody was all over it. Some of the most die-hard Bushmills fans were really all over it, and they were just welcoming. Now a lot of them's going, oh good Christ, when does it stop?
Single casks.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just keep coming.
They just keep coming. And they tell you we're going to ease off. We're going to hit you another doozy. And they've been doing really, really well. And I remember the first time we sold one of the Chinese special releases, the 18-year-olds, and we referred to it as a unicorn. Little did we know
that there was a farm of unicorns.
They've got herds of the things running wild in China. And again, they just keep sort of sending them our way, and again, now collectors are looking for the differentiating factor between, the Causeway Collection 1, Causeway Collection 2, the Chinese releases, the American releases. I didn't even put up them. We've got a substantial contingency from Bushmills this month. Just on a note, I did have to wear my Dunville's t-shirt today, because Lauren hasn't given me a t-shirt.
Lauren.
Disappointed. That should be enough. I should just say I'm disappointed.
Right, end of conversation then.
So, talking about these Chinese ones, here's ones that's never come up before. The 13-year-old Cherrywood cask. Brand new, first time ever at auction worldwide. It should do really, really well. The problem it has, I suppose, is where are the collectors at in it? There's some die-hard collectors out there that are continuing to collect them. To taste them would be the thing. Ultimately that's what it's about. Some of these Chinese releases, I think a lot of people would love to taste them and open them and all that sort of stuff, but the end secondary market price over here is nearly prohibitive to them. And then if they do get them over here, they're looking at the secondary market and going, I'm not opening that. I want to pass it on. So it is one of the ones I would say that would be a cracker. But beside it is something that we felt always should have been. It's a Bushmills 21-year-old, but it's at cask strength. So this isn't an individual cask product like the other one. So all the other Chinese releases are single cask editions. This isn't a single cask. This is their 21-year-old and bottled at cask strength. Catch the tag. It is in the new shape presentation, the newer square bottle. Yeah, it's really, really nice, Kitty. You're right. It's in the new shape. It's at 51.3%. Fairly good high ABV for that sort of age of a whiskey. Got lovely colouring to it. I mean, a real deep amber colour in it. On the back of the bottle, it obviously is Chinese. My Mandarin or simplified Chinese isn't so very good, but I can see on it 51%, and it does say 2021 there on it, 2nd of the 11th, 2021. So some of these have been sent to China and are there for a while, and I think they're releasing them as they sort of see fit, or as it comes to them. That does have Colin Egan's signature on the front of it, but again, cracking presentation, and as I say, the one that a lot of us would want to taste. What's the O?
Oloroso sherry bourbon and deal.
Well, that's their 21. That's what it is as well. I always think I think they dropped the ball a wee bit when they revamped it. I think they should have left an annual release on it. And I know the conversation has been, well, it's, you know, it doesn't change. It's not like Middleton Very Rare, that it's a new different blend every year from the master distiller. The 21 is a core release thing, and it's just on forever. But I think it was nice too that they did have the year on the front of it for collectors and for gifts. I mean, it was even a great gifting product as well. 18-year-old, 19-year-old, and then the 28-year-old. There's 3 whopping big bottles, whopping big presentation from them. They open in various different ways. Some of them are slidey up, some of them are slidey down. I'm not opening them. There's a wee bit of manhandling. Underneath is the Causeway collection per se, and these are doing really well. We were down at I was down, actually. You didn't join me. You were working hard in JJ's. I was down at Wexford, at the Southeast Whisky Festival, organised by Mr. Cowman and Dahi and Johnny Barron and them. Lauren was there, and she had a tasting of the Bushmill's Causeway collection. She can just pull anything out of that armoury of that they have. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that can walk away. And one of the USPs from the festival was that it had to be their own liquid. So a lot of the newer distilleries, that's the challenge they had. Bushmills can do it all day long. Literally all day long. Yep. They can go to Lauren just looks and goes, what have we got? What can we do? What can we do? I know the vermouth was there.
That's nice.
The Sauternes was there. The vermouth, the Sauternes, the Marsala was there. Now this Marsala is comically good.
Pardon me?
I mean, comically good. I mean, it is such a good whiskey. Sauternes is probably one of my favourite because it's just such a good, you know, real good whiskey.
I'm not a fan of Sauternes.
Are you not?
No.
Oh, that's a sweet tooth in me, I reckon. Beside that, we have these 2 bad boys, the Burgundy cask and the Banyuls cask, and they are from the Whiskey Club in Australia. Last month, the Burgundy cask set tongues a wagon when it sold for a cracking price. I mean, a substantial cracking price. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I think it was 13 or 1,500 euros or something like that, but it was a cracking price for it. Again, the OCD in me, Sinead, just come round, go square on the front of them. If there's somebody in the packaging or branding department of Bushmills sees this, so these are all nice and square. Look at that, lovely centre, lovely centre. What happened, lads? I know Australia is sort of the other side of the world, but you don't have to put the name on the other side of the tube.
Maybe they're trying to be a bit jazzy.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. Quality control. Were they having a day off, or they were throwing another shrimp on the barbie and, you know, having another tinny and...
You really just...
The Australian thing? Yeah.
Let
it go. The Bushmills port cask 32-year-old from Le Maison de Whiskey. Yowzers.
It's really nice.
Just juicy. And then, as I say, you have the 2001, the port cask, and beside it that Marsala thing. Vermouth. I did say to Lauren that the vermouth casks isn't one of my favourites, and I said I'm not particularly fond of vermouth as a taste anyhow, and she went, she's not particularly fond of vermouth as it is, but she loves the vermouth casks.
Yeah.
So it is one of them things. It's a Marmite thing. Whether you love it or hate it, it's just too. It's nearly too clean, too refined for me, and I'm not a fan. But that won't stop me drinking it when Lauren's pouring it into my glass.
Yes, that is true.
Yes. So that's it. As I say, look, there's loads more Bushmills. I mean, this was just some of the Causeway collection we pulled out. There's the Muscatels, there's the Cognac casks, there's so many. And then we go into the low legacy ones. What there is, and there's even the Acacia Wood, the distillery exclusive. That's very tasty.
I could drink one of them. All of my Unio.
Yes, and I think you nearly have, Kitty. Now, I'm not
possibly
judging you. I won't judge you on that
thank
at all.
you.
There's what there is, and it came in. I think it's been processed so far. Is this? I know this is the 400th anniversary of just the normal black bush, but there's a set of 3 of the Bushmills. Can't think of the other one. But there's a set of 3, and they're just lovely to look at as well. So that's that's just part of the Bushmills things. So there you go. We'll be back tomorrow with
We don't know.
we don't know. I think we're going to do a lot of talking about Scotch this week, Kitty.
Yes.
We have a fairly substantial Scotch presence. My wife has just informed me that she won't be here tomorrow. You have an alternative appointment?
I'm getting new her. I'm getting new her. Don't know who owns it, but I'm getting it.
I'll see if I can find a replacement to stand in. I mean, somebody who can
Actually be of benefit instead of standing like a nudging
Yeah,
dog.
but I don't think you're the only one that can control me sufficiently. I mean, that's the rest of them are employees, so there is Sinead and Olivia and even Robert to know how to press the buttons at times to tone it down. But I think you're the only one that has a vice-like grip on my behaviour. Anyhow, that'll do. We'll be back tomorrow. Well, sorry, I'll be back tomorrow. She's getting her hair done.
Bye.
Bye.